want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right. So now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then, what is this? Says, squeeze a quarter-size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack, but then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And man, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day. Right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you go in between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally, because anybody can do that little pitch, and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order, and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. Got to get that lotion in. When you put your lotion on, you got to get it in every crack and crevice. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Thursday, September 26, 2024, year of our Lord. This year has been nothing short of exciting, phenomenal, and unfortunate. What up? What's going on, y'all? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all in the chat. Too many of y'all to name. Young, old, been with me for a long time, and then we kicking it, we running it up, and we taking care of business. I will say that my life is a whirlwind. So I was, Rita's out of town at a church conference. Rita's out of town and she out there having fun anyway. So I'm chilling with my daughter last night. And, I'm doing stuff related to the business, and I'm ordering mirrors so that I can have them put in, delivered to the one that I just built, put them in the bathroom and stuff like that. So I'm on Lowe's.com and all of that stuff. And so she like, Dad, look at my project. This all a mess. So I had to take her to the store last night. We had to go get some new poster board. And we spent like 2 straight hours working on a school project. That is what my life is, right? I work my ass off here, and then I go home, and then my daughter be like, Dad, let's work on this. And so we started working on the school project, finished her school project. It was dope. She's like, oh, man, this is so sweet. So, yep, I spent the majority of my afternoon working on my daughter's school project. That's what I spend my off days on Wednesday. And it was interesting. Oh, while we was working on the school project, I had an opportunity to look at the live stream last night, the premiere of Randy's Let's Rant About It, Season 2, Episode 2 with 2K and stuff like that. And why do people sit there and say, Anton, you got to do this, or Anton, you got to do that? Listen. Let me tell you about my style, my management style, right? If you've noticed, for example, Q, Island Girl Q. If you notice, for example, Island Girl Q, I don't tell her what to do. Whoever she pulls up to the platform, how she evolves the platform, if she asks for my help, if she asks for my insight, if she asks for understanding, if she asks for funding, whatever she needs, my job as a person that oversees certain things is to give her what she needs. And so it's the same thing with Let's Rant About It and Randy. And I can't wait for y'all to pull up, because the live show going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I got that link pinned to the top of the chat, and I got it in the description of the video. So get your tickets, discount code Anton, that's out there. But the live show is just going to be just as awesome. But it's the same thing with everybody, right? Like that's Randy's thing. That's Randy's project. I am but a mere contributor to the project. I am but a mere co-host. I am but a mere platform organizer and all of that. So if you have feedback or you have something that you want to share, reach out to Q for the Monday night show. Reach out to Randy for Let's Rant About It, and rock out with it. I am just a person that enables people and leverage my resources, my platforms, and my understanding when people ask for it to give them what they need in order for them to be successful. Whatever happens and how it plays out, that's their baby. That's their project. That's their thing. So I am not a micromanager. I'm not a micromanager. I don't tell people what they should and shouldn't do. I just give people what they need because I believe in them. I believe in people. And so I'm like, whatever you need, you let me know. They call me. They say, hey, Anton, A, B, C, and D. Okay, we rocking with A, B, C, and D. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I had fun watching the show last night. It was pretty awesome. Shout out to 2K. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to everybody that was Crystal. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Chulo. He was out there. Shout out to everybody that was on the panel for the show. It was absolutely awesome. Great premiere. I can't wait to meet y'all in person. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Let's not forget, get your Tiege. I don't want y'all out here being dusty. Get your Tiege. Tiege Hanley, 40% off for first order, 20% off for life. All right? All right? Let's get it. What up to Quentin? I see Quentin talking about Quentin, you get so much funding. Quentin be getting all kind of funding. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. You know who next up, right? You know who next up, right? Who next up on the roster? Molly. Molly and Carrie, they next up. Molly and Carrie is next up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Molly and Carrie is next up. You heard it here first. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further. What up, friends and family? How y'all feeling? I'm building a whole media empire over here. And I'm taking my friends with me. I'm building a whole media empire out here. And I'm taking my friends with me. That's what we do. We build from the inside out, inside up, you know. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Great videos. We got Block Club coming up. Block Club, which is a iteration of Stock Club, but we talking real estate. And so we're going to do real estate. We're going to do block club. We dropping exclusive videos. That video is popping. It's absolutely going to continue to run up. Y'all love Carrie. Y'all love Molly. Jeremy Rogers says, Anton, when I met you in Houston, it was a pleasure. You are 100% just a regular dude. I appreciate. I keep telling people, when y'all see me in the streets, I ran into some people at the mall yesterday. I was at the Apple store. What up? Hey, man, what's going on? Met the family and all of that. If you meet me in person, y'all need to come out to the Atlanta show and come to the Detroit show. If you meet me in person, you know that Anton is but a mere servant of the people. You know what I'm saying? So we about to have quick. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see something real quick. Let me just see something. Okay. I see y'all. I see y'all out here in these streets. Look at what we got going on here. Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. Okay. So this is what we're going to do before we get started with the show. Give me a second. So I'm going to put something up on the screen. Check this out, y'all. Very exciting stuff. I don't usually talk about this, but very exciting stuff. Wow, look at that. That's the Anton Daniels channel. Live viewers. That's live, ladies and gentlemen. That is a live count of the Anton Daniels channel. You are here experiencing it live. And we are not going to do quick hits until we get to 400,000 subscribers on the Anton Daniels channel. So first and foremost, let me just say this. Look at the number going down. First and foremost, maybe I shouldn't have said we're not going to do quick hits until we get there. First and foremost, let me say this. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Let me minimize this. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. Y'all are absolutely awesome. Shout out to the people that unsubscribe too. Y'all are absolutely awesome. As a person that considers myself an OG of the game, for all of y'all that's in here that's not subscribed to the Anton Daniels channel, go over there and subscribe to the Anton Daniels channel. If you subscribed here, you should be subscribed over there too. Let me say this. As a person that is an OG of the game, because I plan on doing a mastermind session inside of the Patreon of how I generate so much revenue, what my streaming setup is, how I got started, how you should be able to monetize more effectively. I will say this. I once said on a live stream that I would prefer to have 100,000 people truly love and rock with me versus having 1 million fair weather people that roll with me. I'd rather have the bag chasers than anybody. I'd rather have 100,000 truly that loves me. I could do a lot with 100,000 people that truly loves me versus having 1 million people that's just fair weather. Look at that. Hold on, let me take a screenshot. Look at that. Oh, Sookie nah. Look at Ton Dog. They said, Anton, we gonna go ahead and get you on through the hump. Look at Ton Dog. Let me give myself a round of applause. And let me also say that this is an accomplishment of us. We did this. I can't do this without you. We did this together. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but let me tell you, it's hard. Content creation is just like anything else in life, it is a very, very, very difficult thing to do. A lot of people think that you could just wake up, cut on a microphone, and you could just cook, and that's the end of the conversation. It's not. Every single thing that I've ever done, listen to me, hear me out. I know that the numbers seem like it means something, but it's the work. It's the believing in yourself that really is the message in the conversation. And I want y'all to understand this here. Listen to me. I am not one of those overnight successes on YouTube. I am not a person that my talent just carried me through and people just love me and, oh my God, you just blew up overnight. No. The reason that you can relate to me, not just in content creation, but in life, the reason that you can relate to me is because I truly got it out the mud. You're not hearing me, man. I've been on YouTube content creating for probably close to the better part of a decade. A decade. This has not come easy for me. I had to grind, hustle, scrape, consistency, dedication to get everything that I've ever gotten off of this platform and in life, whether it was corporate America, whether it was going back to school and getting my software engineering degree. I plan on going back to school because I just want to accomplish some more things. I want to add and pad to my resume. I don't even have to go back to school. I told Rita the other day, and I was talking to my mom, I said, yeah, I think I'm about to go back to school. She said, really? You ain't even going to use it for I said, yeah, but I just need it. I need it for me because it's something that I want to do. Everything that I've ever gotten. And let me just go ahead and reconfirm to you, you're hearing it directly out of the horse's mouth. I've never gotten an inheritance in my life. Never gotten insurance money. Because if I did, it would have went to my mom. It wouldn't have went to me. And if I would have got it, how come my other brothers didn't get it? Never got no insurance money from my father. I don't know where y'all got that rumor from. It's like a bad game of telephone. Never got no inheritance. I was born in the hood. Hey, how you gonna get an inheritance and you born in the hood? I lived on Green Lawn between Norfolk and Chippewa. What inheritance? Because for all of those people that was complaining in the video that I just recently dropped yesterday and was saying, oh my God, it's always people that always got a lot that say or that got an. I ain't got nothing. I got my father gave me everything that I needed, and when he taught me work ethic, dedication, consistency, and God. Those were the 4 pillars of my life. Work ethic, dedication, consistency, and God. That's it. No lawsuit money, no hand-ups, handouts, no none of that. Grinding. Detroit, Michigan, between 7 Mile and 8 Mile, Livernois and Wyoming, 8 Mile, Coney Island. What inheritance comes from that? And why my brothers ain't get one? Remove the excuses, bro. I am the closest thing that you have to a real life person that just put my head down, dedicated myself, stayed loyal to my family, to my people, to my God, and didn't do anything whatsoever to put myself in a position to get arrested, go to jail, or do anything dirty or cut any corners. Every single dime that we got, we earned it. Every single subscriber that we got, we earned it. Every single person that is paid, that has worked for me, they've gotten residual effects as a result of it and benefited as a result of it. Everything. Every single thing that we got it out the mud. It's okay not to cut corners. It's okay not to feel like you need to go and somebody, I don't need nobody to fund. Ain't nobody funded my business. Ain't nobody did nothing. We worked, we grinded, and we took our money that we made and we dedicated it and we educated ourselves. And every day we got better. That's it. We just iterated and we just gonna keep on pushing. There is no reason, no excuse. 90% of the things that happen to you is self-inflicted wounds. Your circumstance, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you got self-inflicted wounds. No more excuses. No excuses, bro. That's it. That's it. I like my growth. I never wanted to get a million fast. Everything we get, we gonna scratch, we gonna claw, we gonna earn it. We want it because we appreciate it more. That's why when y'all give me $1, I see you, Ray Sean. When y'all give me $2, $3, if I miss a super chat, I can't sleep at night. My moderators are screenshotting to say, Anton, you missed this one. Hey, make sure you acknowledge that one. Every dollar, I appreciate people. I don't take you for granted because I had to do this out the mud. We built this together. It's some people been here with me since the Pontiac Silverdome video. That's how they discovered me. All of my old videos are still up there. So I want you to see the growth. No excuses. It ain't your color. It ain't your race. Whatever deficiency that you have, you're going to have to make up for it in another area. Yes, it's people that got pretty privilege. Yes, it's people that's 7 feet tall. Yes, it's people that was born mixed and they got pretty hair. Well, then that just means that you're going to have a better personality. You're going to have to be nicer. You're going to have to brush your teeth, fix the controllables, control the controllables, and then win in other areas. Where you see them deficient, that's where you're going to have to stand up. Play the hand that you dealt. So what? Oh, man, I wasn't born a white man. I don't care. Oh, man, I wasn't born with straight hair. My hair is coarse. Okay, well, then I'm going to capitalize off my beard. Whatever ain't here, I'm going to get it down here. Whatever ain't here, I'm going to just make up for it down here. I'm going to control the controllables. Okay, cool. So you taller, but I'm more consistent than you. I'm going to be to the gym before you. I'm going to be nicer to people. I'm going to dedicate myself to my craft. I'm going to have a better personality than you. Every single person I'm never going to say no. When every opportunity to come across my desk, I'm going to add value into people's lives. I don't care about what this person had or what he was born with. If I see you when you got more than me, first of all, I'm going to congratulate you. Secondly, I'm going to ask you how you got it. And then third, secretly in my mind, I'm gunning for you. I'm coming for you. Because I'm going to be thinking to myself, they ain't better than me. What makes them think that they better than me? In my mind, I've secretly made you my target. And it ain't even in the negative space. It's on some competitive shit. I'm coming. Whatever you got, I have a competitive list. It's on my phone. It's on my iPad. I have this list of people that I have as content creators, and I studied them. And I studied what made them great and what made people love them and endeared themselves to them. And I said, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to look at this. I need to add that to my repertoire. And I'm going to look at that. I'm taking that part of their personality. And oh, man, they really, really dig down and they good at that. Man, he can speak. That dude is great. And I'm just like, you know what? All right. Okay. All right. So what am I better than them at? So I'm going to shore myself up and the things that they're great at. I'm going to meet them at what they're great at. And then I'm going to be better than them at what I'm better than them at. I have this thing. I have a list of people that I'm chasing. And when I jump on these coaching calls sometimes and these people be talking to me, you know, some people call me and they be like, oh man, Anton, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And I say, okay, well, let's go through it. And I learn as much as I possibly can about you because nobody is a monolith and everybody needs something different. And I talk to them and I start mining through. And sometimes we on Zoom calls and I'm like, dog, you better than me. You younger, you faster. You telling me that I triple work you? I outwork you? So wait, I'm more successful than you, but I work harder than you. How's that? How you gonna catch me and I'm chasing him and he running at 40 miles an hour, I'm running at 50 to catch up to him and you running at 20? We have no goals, no motivation. And I think that part of it, sorry, y'all, let me get my little rant on. Let me turn this off real quick. We have no goals, no motivation. And I think that part of it is because we've idolized and made heroes out of the wrong people. Our culture, we've been taught to champion rappers and entertainers and actors. And now that they all fallen, you don't have no source of motivation. And your father ain't in your life and he never taught you how to have this type of work ethic. Because my father, he made sure that every single day that I walked out for school, he said, Anton, what's the word? I said, life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. He said, we don't care about what people do. We don't care about what our obstacles are. We don't care about the fact that we got to get there. We got to get there though. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. When I seen these guys in my chat the other day, and they were so disappointing to me. It ain't no point in going for nothing unless you got a family to take care of. You still not going to go for it. Because the minute that you get upset with her, then you're going to be like, well, skip that. I don't care. I'm out. You don't have no reason to stick through it. You don't have no reason to continue to push yourself because you're not self-motivated. You don't see anything great in yourself. You don't want to accomplish nothing. You don't want to change nobody's life. You get to the point to where it's beyond money, it's beyond numbers. Now it's how many lives that I can impact. And let me tell you why that's so important. Let me tell you what drives me, why I'm so consistent, why I never miss, is because the devil don't sleep. I don't take days off because it's still evil out in the streets. It's still people that need to be taught. It's still lives that need to be changed. I feel like if I miss on the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning, because this is a form of entertainment, but we put the medicine inside of the candy. And then on top of that, listen to me, on top of that, it gets you motivated and it puts a sweet spirit in you so that it gives you the ability to fight demons and devils throughout the day. That's why God said, I want your first. I want you to come to me first. The reason that he says that is because if you giving him the rest of you, you don't have nothing left. By the time you get home, it's the reason why y'all relationships are so trash. Because by the time you get home, the world done kicked your butt. You done fought demons, devils, and all you got is to give the rest to the people that love you the most. That's why he wants your first. Look, the myth, just because God have changed people around from their evil ways or they gave their lives over to God in several different examples, especially in the Bible, the reason why that is a bad example, it happens. Of course you still want to give your life over or you want to change your ways or you want to become a better person or whatever it is. The reason why it's a bad example is because it sets the precedent that you can live your life for the devil and then give the rest of what you got to God. I can't use you. I can only save you. I'm not looking to save you. I'm looking to leverage you. There's levels to greatness. There's levels to the kingdom of God. There's levels to the things that he can use you for. Let me break the levels down for you. You got hell, people that's bound for that. And the majority of the people is going into it. And it's a reflection of their lives. That's why you see so many people falling. They got all of their stuff front loaded. Oh, man, come on, man. Come on. Just give me a second. They got all of their blessings front loaded from the devil, but it never makes anything of it. And that's why no matter how long that Diddy was on top, he was on there for 30 years and it's over. He'll never be able to see his kids in the free world again. He'll never be able to touch his friends and family. He'll never be able to do, his entire legacy is flawed because all of his blessings was front loaded, meaning that he sold himself out in order to get there instead of doing it the right way and the hard way. That's why when you a child of God, he don't allow for you to skip steps because your character got to carry you in places that your talent can't take you. Your talent is, you great. He gave you all of the tools, but your character has to be developed. And so when you love God and you a child of God, he don't give you more than you can handle. The context is that he don't want you to embarrass yourself and to embarrass the kingdom of God. That's why I don't respect everybody that say that they're a Christian. I know them by their fruit. Give a fuck about what you talking about. I know what your life look like. He not going to allow for you to skip steps because you got to develop the character that's going to keep you when your talent is taking you places that's dark and demonic and you thought that you was prepared for it. So you keep praying for money instead of praying for character and humility and stick-to-itiveness and dedication and loyalty and love and humility and the fruits of the Spirit. You so lazy because you don't have no purpose in your life. Your whole life, you've given it over to things that's not best for you. And you think that you're going to be blessed for it. You think that somebody is supposed to come and give you something. It's levels to the kingdom. It's levels to success. Of course you can be saved. I don't have a heaven and hell to put you in. But it's a difference between being saved and being used and being leveraged, because I want to be a beacon of light for other people to lead them to the right way and everything in their life. I don't want to just give my life to God at the end when the devil didn't use me for his purpose. That's the difference. That's the difference between a man and a boy. When I was a man, I put away childish things. It's the difference between greatness and mediocrity. I've never wanted to be regular. I don't have a regular bone in my spirit. It's not in me. I don't have that. I don't have no desire for it. It's too many examples that the devil can put into you or put in front of you in order to entice you to front load your blessings only to fall at the end of it and bust hell wide open. What's the point of it? I'd rather get mine the hard way. I'd rather go through it and go to it instead of having somebody give it to me. Just show me. I can do it myself. When I go to these shows, when I go to the Dr. Phil's and the Fox News or whatever, I don't get paid for that. They offer me. I say, no, I'm good. When I'm there, I'm studying. I'm paying attention. Oh, man, he did this. Oh, so this many shows that they do. Okay, this is what I'm going to do when I'm going to get back to the crib. We don't have no examples no more. Just because somebody put on a dashiki and they say that they pro-black, now you following them, but they fruits is not showing you that they are a reflection of the thing that they advocate for. So why would I follow somebody that don't know what the fuck they talking about and it's not even a reflection of their own life? How you gonna teach me and you ain't doing it? Even Jesus himself had to show, he did the most awesome things in his small amount of time that he had on this earth. But he didn't even start preaching until he was in his 30s, and that's the Son of God. So you telling me you ain't got to refine yourself, be great, you could just wake up and be a life coach? That we supposed to listen to you? For what? What have you proved? What are you showing? Why you ain't got no receipts? Show me your life, I'll show you your wife. Show me your life, I'll show you your wife. Because your wife is going to be a reflection of who you are. So if she busted, dusted, disgusted, and she ain't got nothing for herself, I'm going to show you your life. Show me your kids, I'll show you your life. Show me your kids, I'll show you your life. Show me your spiritual balance, I'll show you your life. Show me your bank account, I'll show you your life. Show it to me. Put it up on the screen. Show me what you got. Show me your calendar, I'll show you your life. Show me your calendar, I'll show you your life. Put it on the screen, let's compare. Let's compare. Don't keep talking to me about what it is that you ain't got and how you ain't doing it and that's not a reflection of it. Show me your fruit and I'll show you your life. Keep on looking at all of these people falling and you're not paying attention to it. All of these people was your heroes because you can't quote the Bible, but you can quote a motherfucking rap verse. Can't quote a scripture to save your life. Ain't never stepped foot in a library. Couldn't focus on anything that you had in school, but I bet you know what an ounce is. I bet you know how to break down a gram. I bet you know how to break down a kilo. I bet you know what the conversion rate is. I got HGAD. No, you got the devil in you. Grow the fuck up. Your family needs you. Your unborn kids need you. Your community needs you. You got everything that you needed. Everything. They was depending on you and you're going to fail them. You're going to fail them. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Stop being an asshole. Stop being so easily offended. Oh my God, I don't like the way he talked to me. I don't like the way that you keep on spreading diseases by opening up your motherfucking legs to the world. Grow the fuck up. Close your legs. You ain't taught that. You know better than that. You don't need nobody in your life to come into you and have no intervention with you. Stop hitting me up. Anton, I want a coaching call. I'm telling you right now. Let's get into quick hits. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't think that we need to dedicate an entire segment to it, but we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on out in these streets. Reading the super chat shortly. Let's get into it. First things first, man dead after a hijacked bus in LA. Let's get to it, y'all.
Downtown Los Angeles, besieged by a storm of sirens. As a small army of squad cars tailed this hijacked LA Metro bus for an hour, the driver, police say, steering the bus at gunpoint.
This operator continued to operate the bus in as safe a manner as he could.
Police say the bus came under assault shortly before 1 a.m. The hijacker, identified by police as Lamont Campbell, shot one passenger, sending others running from the bus.
The operator initiated the emergency protocols on the bus.
Police say the driver remembered a piece of life-saving training, pressing a panic button to display a distress signal on the bus's message board. 911, call police, emergency, spurring the LAPD into action. Deploying spike strips, funneling the bus into a trap. The SWAT team surrounding the bus.
This is LAPD. You're surrounded. Come out with your hands up.
Storming in, pulling the driver to safety, arresting the suspect, alive and unhurt.
He surrendered immediately, and there was no use of force at the end of the pursuit.
Police say one passenger was shot multiple times. The victim later died at the hospital. No one else was hurt. A small wonder, police say, thanks to the quick thinking of the man steering away from danger.
They are civil service heroes.
Courage under fire, calm behind the wheel. Steve Patterson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
What is going on in LA, man? What's going on the West Coast? Y'all hijacking buses, killing passengers, taking people's lives? What is going on? I don't understand. It's almost like an evil spirit that's running around on the West Coast or whatever. And they won't even reveal they won't reveal none of the details or the looks. I've looked at multiple different videos trying to understand exactly who this person was. I guess that's to come later when all of the melee die down and they don't have anything else to say about it and it's not as visible anymore. Anyways, in addition to that, the son of the guy that attempted to kill Donald Trump, the latest assassination attempt, the son was arrested on child sex abuse material. Check it out.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Greensboro. The son of the man who's accused of attempting to assassinate former President Donald Trump now facing serious charges of his own. Orrin Ruth, son of Ryan Ruth, just appeared in federal court within the last hour and a half on charges of possessing child sexual abuse images. He was arrested this week after investigators found hundreds of files of child sexual abuse material in his possession while searching his Greensboro home. Our crew is in the courtroom, and they say that Ruth showed no emotion as if he faced a judge this afternoon. Welcome to the Fox 8 4 o'clock news. I'm Chad.
Do y'all think that it's possible to breed evil? And I'm not just talking about talk about evil. I'm talking about because obviously the guy that tried to assassinate Trump, if you go through his history and you start to deep dive and you look at the letter and stuff like that, he's an evil person. He was a truly evil person. And you can see what his intention is and how these people operated every single day prior to, which is what makes it easier for them to identify whether or not they're a person that's going to potentially do something that they're not supposed to do in the first place. But he's a truly evil person, right? And so can you have a child with another evil person and create an evil person? You know what I'm saying? It's like every thought. How do you go in and you got all of this nasty stuff? Your son got nasty stuff. And so now I'm wondering, okay, well, what does the mother look like? What is the mother like? What is the mother's life like? You know what I'm saying?
Tucker.
And I'm Natalie Wilson. Fox 8
killers breed killers.
Skipper is live at Orrin Ruth's home along Van Wert Street in Greensboro. Elijah, what have you learned?
Yeah, the lights are on outside Orrin Ruth's home, and a car appears to be in the driveway, but it doesn't seem like anyone is home. I spoke with a mechanic who shares this driveway. He didn't want to go on camera, but told me while working yesterday, he saw Orrin walking down the driveway in a hoodie, cowboy hat, and carrying a bag. Moments later, FBI agents swarmed in, yelled, "Freeze FBI," and arrested him right here. According to court documents, the FBI searched Ruth's apartment last weekend and uncovered multiple electronic devices. Investigators say these devices contain hundreds of files of child pornography.
That's so evil. That is so demonic. It just contains they had a separate device, and the only reason that they discovered it is because they raided him to better understand who his father was. So this just happened to be happenstance. And now you also got to think about yourself and say, well, what about the people that's out here taking pictures of little kids? It is an undercurrent of. That's one of the reasons I almost didn't have a kid. I almost didn't have a kid because I was just like, at 26, 25, 26, I was like, man, this world is evil. Jesus.
Took agents 1 day to obtain a warrant to search those devices. Greensboro police initially arrested Ruth on drug charges on Saturday.
That's
nasty. They say he's accused of possessing cocaine, MDMA, ketamine, and various drug paraphernalia. Then on Monday, federal agents took him into custody on more serious charges. We reached out to Greensboro police and the FBI to find out what led to the search of Ruth's apartment, but they referred us to the state and federal charging documents for details. Ruth is going to remain in U.S. Marshal custody. He also has a past running into law enforcement charges out of Wake County in 2016. He has 2 of those, one for interfering with emergency communications and assault on a female. We reached out to Greensboro more for
these
Greensboro
people should
police.
be in jail, man. No rehabilitation, no nothing. Just send them into jail. And then last but not least, Hurricane Helene beat up on Cancun, and then it's taking aim at Florida. Check it out. Bigger than 4 foot.
In Florida this morning, it's a race against time.
The eye of the storm is coming in this region.
Residents making final preparations, bracing for Hurricane Helene. The monster storm strengthening overnight, picking up steam in the warm Gulf waters as it races towards the coast. Helene already slamming popular vacation destinations in Mexico, like Cancun. The hurricane could potentially intensify to a Category 4 when it reaches Florida with sustained winds near 130 miles per hour. And Tallahassee, the state's capital, could get hit the hardest.
We are prepared. We are 100% prepared, and we will respond. Nonetheless, this is going to be a catastrophic storm, and it's going to have severe damage.
Some areas along Florida's west coast expecting the storm surge to potentially reach up to 20 feet.
Mandatory evacuation.
20-foot storm surge? Nah, I'm going to just visit during seasons that they don't have hurricanes.
Has been ordered. Please leave this area.
At sea, cruise ships in the Gulf being diverted to avoid the storm.
So it's storming a little bit.
Why would you take a cruise during hurricane season?
Hillary Patterson and her family stuck aboard the Carnival Paradise. With at least an extra day or 2 at sea, Patterson is worried about her home in Port St. Joe, right in Helene's path. The same home devastated in 2018 by Hurricane Michael.
You've got a lot of people that we've got a free fun day on the water. They are so excited. And then you've got people like us that really need to get home because our, homes are in the path of the hurricane.
Air travel not much better, with all flights grounded at Tampa International Airport today, while first responders are preparing for potential emergencies.
We could expect anything from swift water and flooded area rescues to structural collapse.
But they're also sending out this urgent message.
Emergency responders will not be able to help you until the threat passes. You will essentially be on your own.
That is some scary words. Those are very, very scary words. So, family, make sure y'all send up prayers for all of our bag chasers and all of our families that are in Florida, because family is not blood. Family is the people that you truly love and rock with the most, and that's going in the direction that you're going in. So prayers up. Make sure y'all stay safe. If you can, get up out of there. If you can't, then make sure that you take the necessary precautions. Is one of the reasons why insurance companies have completely abandoned Florida for the most part. And then they're also abandoning the West Coast. So just take heed, send prayers up, stay safe. And ladies and gentlemen, that's your quick hits. All right, let me see if I can read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show because we got to get to Eric Adams. IVR7 says, Derrick Rose. Yeah, I was looking at that. Derrick Rose retired. Sad day, Piston legend, Chi-Town, and Bulls icon. Shout out to Derrick Rose. I've always been a fan of Derrick Rose. J-Rock24K says, 80, the hosts have to let y'all rock and get y'all point across. An old girl got the moose knuckle. The Grayway says, good morning, AD Chat and the Chasers. I'm not going to ask if you're Republican or a Democrat. I just want to know, are you okay? Shout out to Kamala Harris. See, I know what her speech is. Jay Ben says, good morning, AD Chat and the Jay Ben says, No quick hits until 800 likes. We there. Get the likes up, all right? K. Cooper in the building. Says, they said you fell off, Anton. Nope. Haters. I ain't worried about that. You just keep working. Bodega Chu says, keep up the great work, AD. I appreciate you. Dog, look at Ray Sean. One of my greatest students. One of my greatest chasers. One of the people that I talked to Ray Sean last weekend. One of my best chasers. I love this guy. This guy is winning at the highest level. And when he came to me, he said, Anton, whatever, no matter what happens, I have to. I'm not even going to talk about what his financial situation was or anything like that before he came to me. He said, man, I got to be up under your tutelage. I have to be a chaser. I have to be able to kick it with you. I have to have access to you. And I said, all right, but the work is on you, bro. The work is on you to see where he's gone and where he's going. And for him to be basically the top of his field and to be so successful, including financially, while at the same time maintaining his spirituality. It's so great. I don't mind taking Ray Sean money because Ray Sean is a millionaire. Ray Sean is winning. I'm going to take Ray Sean's 500. Thank you, Ray Sean. I appreciate you. P. Shank says, morning, Mr. Anton Daniels on the Millionaire Morning Show. What up, P. Shank? Deshaun Rose says, good morning, AD, and salute to the Chasers. Hit the like button. Charles Freeman says, congratulations. It's just the beginning. AD Bag Chasers is up. Self-Made Forever said, what up, though? I appreciate you, Self-Made. Donnell in the building says, congrats, big dog. Well deserved. I've been watching Bag Chasing for a short time. However, notice your work ethic is crazy. Salute. Salute to you, big dog. Damon Smith says, can I get a suggestion? 52 years old, own house, vehicles outright, 20-year firefighter, have a pension totaling $220,000 in IRAs. Is $1 million by 60s no. 13,000. I don't think that $1 million. First, you got to change your mindset to see what $1 million is. $1 million is net worth. So it's a strong possibility, depending on what the value of your house is, that you already are a millionaire. You're just a millionaire on paper. When we look at millionaire status, we look at what's on paper, not what you got in your pocket. You know? So when you say is millionaire possible, 100%. And I'm wondering if you're a part of Stock Club, if you're a part of the Bag Chasers, and leveraging the information that I'm putting on a Patreon in order to really, really run it up. Let's talk about it. Let's get to it, big dog. Absolutely, you can get there, 100%. Shout out to Mixed Breeze. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. Robin Edwards says, son of man speaking the truth. Hugh 31 says, preach, big dog. Thank you. Cartier 82 says, real talk, AD OnlyFans is a front-loading blessing. Matthew Adams says, preach, young, preach. Anthony Bohm says, yo, Time Dog, please clip that sermon up from me. I drop it as a clip. Shout out to my dog, Miss Salat. Looking forward to seeing you in the city from the west side of the city. You push the culture in a different direction, bro. As always, the coaching and the information is priceless. We appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I do. I really do appreciate you, and I thank you so much for the love and the support. And hopefully I'm adding just as much value into your life as you add into mine. Steven Slayer 1 says, Anton going Super Saiyan Blue. Snap Tech Fix in the building says, big facts, AD, show me your account. They not ready. Jasmine Swan in the building says, but they won't cover Creepy Joe's pedos. Tammy Thomas says, generational patterns and curses are real. Spiritual words are government or governments. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. Eric Harris says, hurricane's not bad, just a lot of rain. Category 5, 4, 5 is dangerous. Jeremy H in the building says, yes, you can breed evil. A boy at my daughter's middle school got suspended for using the school's computer to take random pics of girls in class. Curtis Taylor says, on my way to Florida. Shout out to Curtis Taylor. I appreciate you. 17. Lord Fire says, love your stuff, Anton. Would love to be under your tutelage as well. Shout out to all of my people in the building. Shout out to my chasers. Send me an email. Josh McLean says, longshoreman, a part of Local 1588 in Bayonne, New Jersey. We definitely striking, Anton. President is Gotham City version of UAW president. Yo, listen, I'm covering that today. We gonna get there, all right? We gonna get there. Let me read some of the Cash Apps also, because I don't want to forget my other people on the other platform, because I always appreciate everybody that contributes into the platform and show me love. Chris James, shout out to my rich friends. Chris James showing me crazy love, says congrats on your 400K. Here is some bar money. Shout out to my dog, Chris James. I love you, bro. You've been holding me down. ESDC in the building. What up, ESDC? Mike, that dude, I appreciate you. And Molly all in her drink. She ain't even know it. Says for the collection plate, Molly, I appreciate you. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. Darius Davenport says, good morning, AD. Do you have a video on how to leverage your social media to market yourself effectively? I think so. I got a lot of videos on the Patreon. Maybe I can do an updated version just because we got newer platforms and it's newer ways in which you can do it. But I think so. I think it's in the Patreon. But let me go and look and let me go double check for you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody that hold me down. I love y'all. Y'all ready to get into the thick of the show? As though we wasn't already there. All right. So hit a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Patreon and get your tickets to come and see me in person. I do plan on, before I get into this, let me do this again. Just a quick announcement, only 1 minute. I do plan on doing Q&A. So in addition to going on tour with Let's Rant About It, I'll be in Atlanta on November 2nd, Detroit on December 14th. Next year, I'm planning, we're going to be touring for that too, but next year, I'm planning on doing an individual, intimate tour setting where I will be bringing some of my friends with me as far as like different people that are unique and speakers. And I plan on doing live, small, intimate setting, live Q&A sessions, shows. It'll be some form of investment advice. I'll bring in experts with me from different things that I think that can add value into your life. So I'm putting that together. I will be going on tour individually and collectively next year. So y'all look out for that. Just letting y'all know ahead of time. I will be tapping into a city near you. For the bag chasers, obviously, I'll try to do it free. I'll try to do it free if you're a bag chaser. But everybody else, you know what it is. So I plan on doing these intimate settings to where I had these conversations and these Q&As with y'all in person in your city, because I want you to experience me in real life just as much as y'all experience me online, all right? So I am going to come all over the United States of America. I plan on tapping into every single city that I can, every single state, and then we going to kick it, man. We going to run it up, all right? Let's go ahead and get into it. So Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted and faces criminal charges. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Hey, folks, I'm breaking in to Dan Abrams' program with pretty big news. If you've been following the saga in New York City, it is culminating with a wallop tonight. The New York City mayor, Eric Adams, being indicted. There is not much I can tell you other than some specifics and some still big questions. For starters, this is a federal investigation, one of about 5, if I am just counting off the top of my head. But this is a federal investigation. But right now the indictment is sealed, so we don't know what the exact charges are going to be. But here are a couple of things I can tell you. There is an FBI investigation that is currently underway right now of the mayor, and this is the culmination of that FBI investigation tonight. You probably heard the astounding news that federal agents stopped him in the street some weeks ago and seized his phones, and then also seized telephone and electronic devices of a number of people in his office, including high-ranking officials in his office. But that's not the only investigation that the New York City mayor is under. He's also dealing with myriad other investigations. Let me just go down the list. Number 2, the U.S. attorney is investigating his deputy mayors, his school chancellor, the special assistant to the mayor, all of these regarding allegations that there might have been some migrant service contracts that were funneled towards perhaps friends or...
I'm going to rewind the last part for y'all. I'm going to rewind this last... Man, I caught this. Oh, man, the last 2.5 years I've been calling this. I'm going to rewind that last part for y'all.
Assistant to the mayor, all of these regarding allegations that there might have been some migrant service contracts that were funneled towards perhaps friends.
Where do I start? Where do I begin? Where do I start? Where do I begin? Where y'all want me to start to break this down at? Huh? When I was going through all of the different migrant service contracts, y'all remember when I was doing that? And I was deep diving and I was trying to understand who are these companies and what are these LLCs and what is this staffing company and why are they advocating for migrants to come in and take care of their city? You know, when I start asking questions, I get curious. And when I get curious, I start going down a rabbit hole. When I go down a rabbit hole and then I hit a stop, I had to make a conclusion. I said it. I've been telling y'all. You don't think that this is just a result of them getting with the Turkish consulate in order to get, come on, man. They raided everybody. All of his top aides, took all of their devices, everybody around him, they enclosed on him. And I think that this is just the beginning. I think it's just the beginning. How high up does it go? How high up does the rabbit hole go? I'm scared, honestly. I'm scared. I believe that the rabbit hole goes so deep, because it doesn't make sense. If you are an American and you love your country or you love your city, it doesn't make sense unless you're incentivized to do so, to sell out your people. The only time, that's why it says the love of money is the root of all evil. The only time that you can convince somebody to do something against something that they love is if you incentivize them to do so. It all makes sense. Why would they be flying millions of migrants over here? Why would they be forcing Texas to open up their borders? Why would they let 21 million? We're not asking the right questions. Why would they do that? Why would they do it? Brandon Johnson claims to be of the church. And he's not a part of this, but I just got to ask the question. Brandon Johnson, Chicago mayor, claims to be a part of the church, right? Middle school teacher, Mayor Mohawk. Why would they know that they got a fiscal cliff coming. They know that they facing a $942 million budget deficit. They know that these communities are underfunded. They know that people are dying every day. They right there, they get all of the data and the inside information. Why would they spend $700 million on people that's not even American citizens coming over here illegally? Why would they do that? Why? There's no logic, no reason, no understanding as to why they would do it. So now as we start to uncover it, right? We start to pull back the veil and we start to understand it a little bit more. We start to understand it. Let me see something.
Hello.
I'm going to make a phone call in a minute. It don't make sense. It never made sense to me at all.
Or connections. That's a second investigation into the mayor's office. And then there is a third investigation of his administration. The police commissioner also being investigated.
Everybody is in on it.
You might have heard
everybody is in on it,
about a
except for the American
that the
people.
Police commissioner and his twin brother were doing with various nightclubs around the city regarding police protection, etc. Sounds a bit mobster, I know, but that's the headline on that third investigation. And then there is this fourth big investigation that's ongoing about foreign influence, and that's the U.S. attorney in Brooklyn. It's been looking into the mayor's office regarding.
I disagree with you, Eric. Some people
influence,
is above the law.
and possibly the recruiting of senior officials in the mayor's office by China. AKA spying. There's been a lot of developments in that case as well. But tonight, big breaking news that is just kind of like, you just have to think about this for a second. This is the 110th mayor of the nation's largest city. And the very first time any of those 110 mayors has been federally indicted. I can't tell you the whereabouts right now of Mayor Adams. I know that there is likely to be an appearance tomorrow morning, but I can tell you this. The mayor is speaking
I'll see you play back,
and loudly. This is the statement that he has released, and I'll quote him directly. I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and of my spirit. You might remember that this mayor was elected just about 3 years ago. His
Okay, y'all want me to make my new predictions? Y'all want me to make my... it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Do y'all want me to make my new predictions? Look. I think that he knows too much. This is my opinion. Let me preface this by saying that this is not a fact. This is my opinion. I think he knows too much. The White House won't even talk to Eric Adams, and this dude is the mayor of the most prosperous, tax-paying, populous, one of the biggest cities in the world. They won't even take this phone call. He went all the way to the White House. Remember when I was documenting it all last year? And they wrote that letter and he was petitioning the Biden administration for some visibility? They won't take his phone call. Listen, y'all. Listen. Come on, y'all. Let's put our thinking hats on. The Democratic National Convention was just in Chicago. You telling me the mayor of the biggest city, one of the biggest Democrats in the entire country, one of the most powerful people overseeing an entire city, don't even show up? The Republican National Convention had Ron DeSantis, Governor Wheelchair, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Vivek Ramaswamy. They had an all-star lineup of every visible Texas governor. He wasn't even in a building. He wasn't even in a... They distanced themselves from Eric Adams years ago. Couldn't even get a phone call through to the White House. Biden is on the view. Eric Adams is getting indicted.
Campaign pledge was to reduce crime.
Governor Wheelchair is governor of Texas. He Professor X to me. All right.
And to bring professionalism and swagger to the largest municipal government in the United States. But he certainly was criticized by many for staffing his top positions in his administration with friends and loyalists. And his inner circle, as I have just laid out, has been just engulfed with so many different investigations. Federal agents not only seized the phones of top city officials, but also a top aide to Mr. Adams, seized the phones of the school chancellor, seized the phones of the police commissioner, and that commissioner and the school chancellor later resigned. So now we can also tell you.
Let me make sure I got my life insurance policy in effect. I gotta make sure that my life insurance policy in effect. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. And I'm getting too much visibility, and I'm asking too many questions, and I'm a C student. I'm dumb.
About that, the seizing of Mayor Adams' electronic devices. I thought it was it was actually last November, so it's coming up on a year since the federal officials have actually been in possession of the mayor's phones and electronic devices. So you can imagine the deep dive that the feds have been doing with those electronics devices. We were told as well that at least his aides have claimed that he was working with the authorities and cooperating. But
you know why Tiffany Henyard's still partying, still going live on Facebook, even though she's spending all taxpayers' money and bankrupting that little city down there? Does nobody care about Dalton, Illinois? Nobody cares. They going after the big fish. Listen, it's more millionaires and billionaires in New York than any other city in the United States of America. Probably the world. Probably the world. It's probably more millionaires in New York than any other city in the world. I'm just guessing. I don't know. 8 million people. One out of every, 24 people is millionaires in New York? Ain't nobody thinking about these po folk over there in Dalton, Illinois. Ain't nobody thinking about no po folk over there. Somebody help us. Okay, they probably looked at the stats. All right, what's the household median income over there in Dalton? Under 40,000. So who else we got next on the list? I ain't thinking about them. You have to say yourself. You gotta increase your net worth. Think about it. It's almost as though if somebody majors in your city loses their life, it's gonna be a big deal. Homeless people and regular people die on the street every day and nobody knows their name. Nobody even trip about it. Word. They move on with their life. That's how they look at your small city. You the mayor, and although you got a bunch of visibility, ain't nobody checking for you. Ain't nobody checking for you. Ain't nobody tripping. They don't care. Tiffany. Ain't nobody tripping off of her. Let her do what she do. Let her go and run that little town out of business. I'm just telling you, money talks. Money talks. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and we gonna deep dive. We're not done with Eric Adams right now. Money talks. It's a whole nother ball game. Shin C says, "What up, though? Salute to you, Shin C. I appreciate you, big dog." Pariah 79 says, "I'm 45 in the transportation field. My employer is paying for my school. I'm considering a degree in computer science. Would love your advice on what direction to look in the computer technology field in the next 20 years. Cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity, cloud infrastructure or cybersecurity. One of the two or both. Take advantage of it. Cloud infrastructure and cybersecurity first. Cloud infrastructure." Tev Marley says, "Peace, Anton, just joined the Chasers. I watch your content every morning. I'm 32 and a mail carrier, no children. Was a step baby daddy." Go on to book a coaching call soon. Thank you for everything you do. For real. Shout out to Tev Marley and to the new Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. You preaching, Brody. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, love. Green Blaze of Fly Eagle says, "Anton, I know you like to get perspectives from different people within the culture, bro. I respect that. But a woman connected to another woman raising kids has no right to judge a man being a stepfather to a woman's kids. It's not judging, it's just opinions. Everybody has an opinion and you want to get it from different people's views. It's not that they're judging. I think that y'all use the word judge too loosely. Everybody has an opinion, and when they ask, I think they can give it. Debt-free dad says black politicians on self-destruct mode in 2024. Yeah. Keyshawn White says this is the reason why we can't vote on identity politics. It's about the people only. Salute. Neutral. What up, Neutral? Says, how long do you think it's going to take Adams to resign? I don't think he will. Black people don't resign. Just be ready. It's crazy that the black community will see this and we still vote based off of identity politics. Sheep. High Tolerance says, sooner than soon, Eric will be rocking 2 extra holes and a nose ring. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's deep dive into it, y'all. So, Eric Adams says this indictment is based on lies. You know what's so funny? Isn't this picture weird right here? Hold on, I'm going to share it with y'all. Ain't this crazy? Ain't this picture crazy now? Talk about foreshadowing. This is the craziest picture ever. This is the craziest picture ever now. Talk about foreshadowing. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. I bet you that when they took this picture, they never could have predicted, never could have imagined that they will both probably be locked up in the same jail together. Eric Adams, just a little while ago, was giving, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. This is bad boy for life. We ain't nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. This is bad boy for life. It's crazy. What foreshadowing. Talk about what they predicted for themselves. This is why I don't even shake people's hands no more. I just be like, what up, though? Give them dap. Give me a little bit of hand sanitizer. Crick, crick, crick. And keep it moving. Anyways, so did it. Take that. Is now locked up. They saying that he denied eating. However, Eric Adams is the latest. He took the news off of Diddy. Listen, if you ever get yourself in trouble or you ever get trapped in a controversy, remember this. You only got 1 week to deal with it. Whatever controversy you got coming up in your life, you got 1 week. You got 1 week of fame. That's it. Just be quiet. You know why? Because it's going to be somebody else that come right behind you and top you out. Y'all got Diddy? We got Eric Adams. This is AOC. They asked her about Mayor Eric Adams and what she thinks that he should do. Take a look.
Right now, I think this is squarely about Mayor Adams' ability to govern New York City and for the New York City governance to be fully staffed to serve the people of New York City. And frankly, under this constant stream of scandal, I do not know if the city will be able to even name replacements for all of these resignations and vacancies at this point. And so it is a very unfortunate time. We do not want to see this happening in our city, but unfortunately it is. And I think for the best of the city and so that we can continue to staff the administration of the city, it would be best for Mayor Adams to step aside.
So they're all turning on each other. They're eating each other's lunch. The same way that they threw Biden out, a little different, not the same way, but the same way that they do Biden out, they're calling for Adams to resign. So here's my question as we go through, because Eric Adams actually made a statement, and I'm going to play that statement for you guys right now. He came out and he addressed the allegations immediately. Who is going to take Eric Adams' place? Because we know he can't get reelected. That's not going to happen. The feds is going to lock him up. That will happen. He says that he's going to fight. That doesn't matter. Who's going to take his place? Who's going to be the next Don of New York City? Here's Eric Adams' statement for the indictment.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes.
No kidding, Sherlock.
If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trials so the New Yorkers can hear the truth. New Yorkers know my story. They know where I come from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics.
Before we go further, hold on. Is he sending a message? Let's back up for a minute.
Federal government as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics.
Hold on, let me back up for a minute, because you know me, I start digging, because my memory serves me a little bit differently. I start digging and I start digging.
Nicole Maliotakis is the Republican from New York, and she joins me now to talk about this. Congresswoman, good morning. Look, let's begin. I know you're not a fan of this plan, right?
Well, of course I'm not a fan of this plan. It's absolutely outrageous. Not only does New York City have a housing crisis, we have an affordability crisis. People are renting apartments in New York City for thousands and thousands of dollars. People are having difficulty paying their mortgage, paying their rent, keeping up with their property taxes that have increased year after year. And the mayor is now telling hardworking taxpayers that they need to pay so individual who crossed into our country illegally at the border last week can live rent-free. I mean, what planet are we living on? It's absolutely outrageous. And the mayor, I've said it before, needs to challenge, and he is, by the way, finally, after I've been calling for him for a year, to challenge this right to shelter law. It's finally going to go before a judge, because this was intended for homeless New Yorkers, right? Citizens who fell on difficult times, became homeless, to give them a shelter, not for individuals who just entered our country last week or citizens of other countries. And, you know, it's just, of course, this is going to continue to just incentivize individuals to come over our border. That's exactly what's going to happen. He says they keep coming because you're giving them free housing.
Now, if I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. I can also understand how everyday New Yorkers will be concerned that I cannot do my job while I face accusation. But I have been facing these lies for months since I began to speak out for all of you and their investigation started. Yet the city has continued to improve. Make no mistake, you elected me to lead this city, and lead it I will. I humbly ask for your prayers and your patience as we see this through. God bless you, and God bless the city of New York. Thank you.
He going down, buddy. You going down. I mean, that's just the reality of it. He's going down. He's absolutely 100% going down. Let me see if I can find something really quickly. That's it. It's over for him. I'm trying to look for a specific video that I remember, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Here's the thing. This is what I think is happening. This is my opinion, and this is what's really happening. I think that Eric Adams is dirty. I do. I think that Eric Adams is dirty. But I also think that dirty politicians, and this is my opinion, based off of everything that I know and all of this coverage that I've been doing over the last few years, I believe that Eric Adams is dirty. 100%. I think that most of these politicians, 95 to 98% of these politicians, is dirty. Of course, I believe that, especially considering that he made all of his homies, all of his administration, of course I believe that they're funneling money. Of course I believe that all of these shell companies that's getting all of these billions of dollars from this migrant crisis is playing out. Absolutely. But guess what? Guess what's so beautiful about it? Is that the dirtiest ones make the best politicians. Why? Because they can be controlled. The dirtiest people make for the best politicians because they can be controlled. You play ball over here, and again, this is my opinion. You play ball over here, you gonna benefit from it. Yeah, you gotta sell out the American taxpayers. Yeah, you gotta sell out your community. Yeah, you gotta throw other people under the bus. Yeah, we gotta divert tax funds over to this thing. But guess what? You play ball, you win. You stop dribbling, you play ball, you win. You stop dribbling, because if they ain't got no dirt on you, it's hard to control you. You can't control somebody that's not worried or don't care. That's hard. You can only control people that care about their well-being, yet they still doing things that they're not supposed to do. That's what makes you, that's what makes saints so weak. Saints are so easily compromised. Christians, people that say that they love God, they're easily compromised. You know why? Because they still care. And when you still care, you can be controlled because you still got dirt on you. So if you a saint, but you still playing, if you got feet, if you have feet in both sides, you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Let's say you still got some stuff going on in your life, or you still got some dirt on you, or you still involved in some stuff or whatever, but you've been getting away with it for a long time, but then at the same time, you got a conscience, or you feel like you're still a good person. Those are the most easily controlled people. Why? Because they care, yet they still have things in their background that they worried about being revealed, and so they learn how to play ball in order to exist. Now, if you on one side or the other, it's way more difficult. Because if you don't care, or you 100% clean and they ain't got no dirt on you, they don't trust you. People that are doing things that are dirty can't trust people that's not dirty. Now, some people may get clipped. Some people may go to jail. Some people may be some collateral damage, but we keep the existing infrastructure and the whole charade up the entire time so that we can continue to enrich ourselves. And we may sell out the American people, or we may give them a couple crumbs here and there, or we may go out there and pitch them a message of hope and love and joy. And we shouldn't be so divisive. But they never let the left hand find out what the right hand is doing. And the right hand never know what the left hand is doing. And so they pitch this to you in the message of love and civility and joy. But you know one thing about the Word of God? You know one thing about the Bible? Because I take all of my lessons straight from the scriptures and then I apply it to my regular life. I didn't see a whole lot of that in there. You know what I seen? Warring for righteousness' sake. Suffering for righteousness' sake. Winning over souls. And in all of those situations, it was warring for principalities and spirituality and real life situations where they had to go and overtake the enemy. Love, joy, and peace was within. But love, joy, and peace was not something that God ever sold the people on. You know why? Because he told them, if you suffer with me, you'll reign with me. And so it's easier to manipulate people that want to do good but still got bad and not willing to give it all up. Why? Because they can be controlled. In the minute, in my opinion, this is what I believe. The minute that Eric Adams stopped being controlled was when his whole life started to fall apart. The federal government distanced themselves and the people in power distanced themselves from Eric Adams a long time ago. They stopped accepting his cause a long time ago. The fact that he can't even get through to the White House that nobody ever asked for New Yorkers' endorsement? That the most powerful and populated city in the United States of America, that the person that's at the forefront of that movement, he never got no movement at all? He knew it was coming. That's why he's saying what he's saying. He's speaking in code, but he's telling you what he really thinking. He's speaking in code, but he's telling you what he really thinking, because two things can be true at the same time. You can be dirty and you can decide that you don't want to play ball once the ball stops dribbling in your court. And when you grow a conscience, that's when you got to, you grew what? You got a conscience. Book him, Dano. Book him, Dano. That is correct, Foxhole 99. He showed up to the White House in person, and they did not want to see him. He showed up to the White House in person, and they did not want to see him. They said, you go home. You go home. You don't go here. You don't come here. You go home. You don't come here. You don't come here. No. Now they calling for his resignation. Everybody is distancing themselves away from him. Don't nobody want to kick it with him no more. Don't nobody want to play ball. Everybody has completely removed themselves. Meanwhile, Biden showed up on The View yesterday on a love campaign, because we're greater together than we are apart. We're greater together than we are apart. Check this out. Hold on. Check this out. I want to show y'all something. This was well over a year ago. All right? This was well over a year ago. Let me show you something.
President Biden is spending another day in New York City meeting with world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly and later on holding a campaign event.
But he's not scheduled to meet with the city's Democratic mayor, Eric Adams. You'd think the two would be on the same page, but the pair is avoiding each other, reportedly, because of tensions over what should be done about the migrant crisis, which Mayor Adams is largely placing on President Biden and the administration. Dre Clark is there in New York City for us live. And Dre, we know Mayor Adams has already said that this crisis is going to, quote, destroy the city that they know and love. And it sounds a lot like Governor Abbott of Texas.
Well, I think Governor Abbott is sitting this one out for a while and allowing the two powerful Democrats to engage in a war of words. The mayor says he just doesn't see eye to eye with the president on this issue. But meanwhile, President Biden has been here in New York City since Sunday. He's been seen around town attending dinner parties and political fundraisers, but he has not stopped by any migrant shelters. The Roosevelt Hotel here behind me is an intake center for newly arriving migrants. It's just a few blocks away from the UN, where the president spoke yesterday. Some people say the president's choice not to address the migrant crisis publicly is retaliation against the mayor, who has said repeatedly that he believes the White House and the federal government is failing to act. In the shadows of the UN General Assembly, the migrant crisis is unfolding on the streets of New York City. But a face-to-face meet and greet between President Biden and New York Governor Kathy Hochul Tuesday could be moving the needle forward. The governor saying late last night on X, former...
So think about this for a second. Kathy Hochul, or Hochul, I don't know how you pronounce her name, who was the governor of New York, said she had a very productive conversation with President Biden tonight regarding some of the specific requests for help, also commending him on his leadership at the UN today. Eric Adams,
Twitter, she had a productive conversation about getting help with the growing migrant crisis. New York City Mayor Eric Adams was not a part of that meeting, having only spoken with the president once earlier this year about the city's desperate need for federal funding. The mayor says right now there are no plans to meet with the president while he's in town.
You guys know where I am all the time. We'll release if we're going to be with the president or not.
The relationship. between the mayor and president has gone from favorable to fragile. The mayor has been critical of the White House, saying it's been irresponsible in addressing the city's migrant crisis, and it shows a lack of leadership.
New York don't deserve this. The asylum seekers don't deserve this. And so while he's here, I think that they should really reflect on New York City has done its part.
One can.
More coming soon. More coming soon. We're going to stay covered on this. We're going to stay on top of it. It's going to be a special show tomorrow. A special show tomorrow. I think that they dirty. They all dirty. Brian Kendrick says, cellmates doing freak offs in jail. Take that. Shout out to Brian. I appreciate you. GR's Infantry says, yesterday you said we have a republic. I'm proud of you, AD. I appreciate you. Jonathan Gonzalez says, they should go after Mayor Johnson next. Save my beautiful city of Chicago. Nope. Nope. Mayor Johnson is playing ball right now. My dog, Fi Brown. Yo, Anton, I'm way behind on the show because I'm listening to the opening sermon for the third time in a row, tearing up. Can't wait for our next coaching call. Salute to the Chasers. My dog, Fi Brown, in the building. I appreciate you, big dog. Shout out to everybody. If y'all not a part of the community, if you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description. Brian Hendrick says, oh, he on a hit list for that. Probably on a hit list for a lot of things. James says that key wasn't to the city, it was a key to his, to his speech. Plot thickens new. Great show. Thank you, my friend. Renee Lindsay says, what up, though? Big Money Trucker says, he's not playing ball. They throwing him under the bus, pun intended, over the migrants. NYC is being invaded and the mayor is snitching. He threatening to snitch anyways. Shout out to Big Money Trucker. Ricky, what up, Ricky? I appreciate you. Jacqueline Moore says, now he understands what President Trump is enduring. Trump yesterday, you and I tomorrow. Love the show. Shout out to Jacqueline. Thank you for holding me down, baby. Anthony Boom says he blaming the federal government now. Uh-oh, yes, he in all statements with, I'm not suicidal now. I see why his attorney checked out. Attorney was resigning. Jordan Joseph says, AD favorite healthcare staffing and Mayor Mohawk next. It's been talk in the staffing industry how they got that contract. It wasn't even open. It wasn't even an open bid. Jay Hunter Lee says they were probably willing to cover up his dirt until he started speaking out about those migrants. Now it's time to take them out. This migrant crisis is so nasty. Charles Freeman says, AD, I definitely want a coaching call, but I want to be on my game before we talk out of respect for your greatness. Don't respect for me. You got to get what you need. Get what you need out of this. Mr. Joe says Holco has the power to remove Adams from office. Why? The feds is going to do it. He's indicted now. He's indicted now. Why not? Anyways, let's continue. So Suge Knight called in to Cuomo's show, and he was giving his thoughts on what was happening with P. Diddy speaking to the key to the city. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it.
For people who have done a little bit of homework and know who you are, why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you and nobody else to get nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, and I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer for no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. Because people think prison is always the answer. I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look at it, that man have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react or get where he got or doing those things or those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true, what's not true. Only true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But for it being happy and proud and say, what do people think That's irrelevant.
So, Suge.
So, don't you just love thugs and gangsters and prisoners that got a conscience? Isn't it awesome when you can be around people and they grow a conscience and they have rules to the game and they say, listen, man, he my enemy, but I don't want him to go to jail because he got kids. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yo.
It's just like I heard earlier today when Ray J was talking to TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I got love for Harvey, but I see Charles always got something negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? Yeah, I'm in prison. I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping to 5 o'clock, I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, the fact is, it's not no competition who's going to talk the loudest or talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms unless it be something positive. If it ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying. I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is in what you can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure, that Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about, and they were about the same thing, and that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Y'all believe that J-Lo and all of them is involved in this too? Y'all think that he got videos of all of these people and J-Lo and all of that too? Oh, man. Y'all think that he got videos of J-Lo and stuff too? Oh, man. Oh, man. I don't know.
Well, first of all, you got to start with the top. You starting with the top. Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away.
He did have an allegation.
Jimmy Iovine. They told me a universal.
He did. Jimmy Iovine, it was a lot of people. A lot of people had allegations against him, even with the New York Survivors Act. That is true because I covered it. It was a lot of people that had allegations against him in the New York Survivors Act. Let me tell you what the difference was. They paid the money. This is what I believe. I'm not 100% sure. The lawsuits that was filed against several people, man, listen. They had rock stars, Jimmy Iovine. They had Jamie Foxx. He had some allegations against him. It was, I'm forgetting some of the people. Jamie Foxx, Vin Diesel. It was some allegations against Vin Diesel. It was some allegations against, man, it was a whole lot of people that had allegations against them. And they just disappeared. Now, you never heard Eric Adams. He had allegations against him. A lot of these allegations, we just never heard nothing against them anymore. I wonder if they paid the money. I wonder if they got a settlement. I wonder if some of these people just went ahead and said, you know what, whether it was guilty or not, you know what, I don't feel like having this bother. Because when you start fighting stuff, okay.
Scope. I said, you know what? We can't deal with artists.
Cuba Gooding, yeah.
That gets in trouble. And your artist gets in trouble and they talk crazy. Let's think about what they see. Now, I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now, Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if he wiped the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
but this been going on for a long time.
Hold on, Suge. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is a little inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players.
Telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's just a recording from the prison that's just saying that they record it, which obviously they do. Suge, help people understand, what tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I wasn't no choice to be at those freaky parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'll go back there and they'll be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably will take it offensive when somebody will get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. They used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They used to take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, and have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put a...
This industry is demonic. The industry is demonic. It's 100% demonic. This is a filthy place. This is a nasty, ugly, filthy place. Nasty, ugly, filthy place. Nasty. You put a boiled egg. They used to have people, men, put a boiled egg. This is the test. According to what Suge Knight said. You take a boiled egg and they stick it up their rear. Stick it up their rear. And if it break, they say that they not ready yet. What is wrong? Y'all want so bad. Y'all want so bad to be in the industry. You want clout so... And you know, I don't even feel sorry for a lot of these people because they not victims. They volunteered themselves. They volunteered as tribute to be a part of a demonic industry. You signed the contract. The contract ain't what you wrote on paper. The contract ain't the record deal. The contract is you getting involved in the industry in the first place. Have y'all ever seen this movie called, it was with Keanu Reeves. I know the chat be helping me out. Helping me out. It's with Keanu Reeves. It was called, and he wouldn't sign with this law firm. And it was not Robert De Niro, but the other guy. Gosh, what's the name of it? The Firm? Not The Firm. Was it The Firm? What's the name of the Keanu Reeves movie where basically it was a devil offering him a contract? It wasn't Constantine. Constantine is the movie where he was going against the devil. He was a lawyer. I think he was a lawyer. Was it The Devil's Advocate? The Devil's Advocate. The Devil's Advocate. It was called The Devil's Advocate. You just can't entertain the devil. You can't entertain the devil and think you're not going to come out of there burned.
Not working. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second.
But
Suge.
if you just look. That's all you got to do.
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Yeah, listen, and also, have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure had a long time to think about it, but if you haven't been in those butt-naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something, but I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So everybody, you got to look at it like this. When you see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life. From elementary school to junior high school to high school, if they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. If you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists, they might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth sticks and lipsticks and nose sticks, all the work done. Underneath, they still the young people with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at Puffy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures. You know, shit, they didn't do everything.
But Suge, just because he has plastic surgery, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is, but that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about richer people. I'm talking about the difference. I'm talking about, okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him.
You're right. Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
Hey, I like to say this too real quick. You got a woman that works for you is really incredible. You don't find too many people.
I thought you were about to implicate her in the investigation. I'm just glad you're not.
It's nasty, bro. It's just a nasty situation. This is, never wanted to be a part of the industry. Never had a desire. I'm so thankful. Remember when we was younger and your grandmother would say stuff like, or your mama would say stuff like, it ain't nothing out there but the devil. And some of y'all was so gung-ho and you wanted to be out there in the mix and you wanted to be in the crowd so bad. That's this. But on another level, though, honestly, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, the only reason that we care is because they celebrities and that they people that you grew up listening to. That's the only reason that we care. The only reason we care is because they celebrities. I will say this, and then we're going to deep dive into the next parts of the show. I'll say this. On a micro level, all right, because I want to get to these layoffs, and then I also want to get to the migrant crisis. This is happening. This is normal behavior. This is normal behavior. In your city, whoever the main people are in your city, on a political level, because see, we looking at it on a New York level, right? We talking about the migrant crisis. We're talking about Diddy. We talking about all of these things that's happening in the industry. We're talking about the rites of passage and homosexual behavior and putting eggs up the rear behinds of people and who get to be a part of the cool kids club. I will tell you, on every level, it's happening. Politically, industry-wise, even in high schools. I remember going to school and certain people did certain things to be in the cool kids club. When certain women would get involved and they would go out and they would fly out and they move into this place because I want to go and be an actor, I want to be an actress and stuff like that, they never came back the same. They never came back. They never made it, but they got signed, but they never released the album and stuff, and they would come back. They never came back the same. They always was different. They always was weird when they came back. And when you would ask them a question, yeah, so what was it like and all of this stuff? And they would be like, it was cool. I'm just keeping to myself. You was outgoing? You was loud, you was wild, you was out there. They just keep it to themselves now. They just want to live a quiet life. Weird. They would come back weird. Even in a city, like even in certain cities that you would go to. Check it. I'm telling you, bro. It's real. Like when certain people, they all sleeping together at the top and you only one person removed and this and that and this and that. It's happening. The only thing that's different is that you're looking at it on a celebrity level and it's been more covered up. And so it's more famous people that's involved because they all got something to lose. So they all stay in their own circles. But it all happens on every level. That's why I keep to myself. I stay out of the mix. Listen, it happens on every level so much. I'll tell you this. Even in the content creation world, it's happening. In the content creation world, it's happening. Because we the new rock stars. We the new entertainers. We the new news source. We the new rappers. We the new everything. When it comes to social media influence and presence and all of that stuff, and people working together and connecting with each other or whatever, it's a small circle. It's a small circle. I didn't just stay in Detroit just because I just wanted to do that's one of the reasons and one of the incentives for me to stay here. Everybody be trying to move to the same cities. LA, Atlanta, Houston. LA, Atlanta, Houston, Miami. Miami, Houston, LA, Atlanta. Don't get me to talking. Don't get me to talking. LA, Miami, Houston, Atlanta. That's where they at. That's where all of them is leaving. And some of them, they blow up. They be small town stars. They be somewhere in Milwaukee or Minneapolis. And they get a little bit of, next thing you know, yeah, I got to move closer to where all of the action is. I got to move closer to where the content creators are. And they start congregating with each other. And it's a small club. And it's the cool kids club. It's the cool kids club. You ain't hearing me. You not listening to me. You think that I'm just talking. It's the cool kids club. I said, nah, I'm going to just stay where I'm at. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm going to stay independent. I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm chilling. Slow motion. Nah, I'm good. Staying out the way. Staying out the way. I don't want to be involved. I'm not interested. Man, hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel with turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats because y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. It's a small industry. And it's subsections of the industry that all congregate together. And the reason why, the reason why people be feeling some type of way about me is because I don't need nobody. And I get it out the mud on my own. And so I just be like, they be like, Anton, how come you ain't? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. So, and bust a move then. I don't need you. I got my own money. I got my own people. I got my own community, got my own chasers. I don't need none of y'all. I don't play ball. I don't play well with others. I'm not interested. Hey man, you gonna be here in Atlanta, come to this party. I'll be like, all right, I'll think about it. I'll be on the next flight smoking. Headed right back to my city. I don't care. Listen, ever since I was in middle school and high school, I walked to the beat of my own drum. I cared nothing about what nobody. I was my own star in high school. I would walk around in school oblivious to what everybody else is doing in my own world. I never cared. And I was so thankful that I was my own person. My own person, don't care about what you think about what's going on. I'm doing what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it when I want to do it. Don't care nothing about y'all. And I've always been on top of it. Always been protected. God has been looking out for me my whole life. My whole life. Queen Nisimo says these people going after Mayor Adams because they dropped off those illegal immigrants, and he told them his priority was American citizens in New York. Nope, don't think about that, Queen. Eric Adams was applauding. Let's see if I can find the video. Eric Adams was playing ball too. See if I can find it. Let me see. I gotta find it. I'm gonna look for the video. But Eric Adams was sitting there clapping. He was clapping as migrants was getting off the bus, and he was meeting them and giving them fist bumps, and he was celebrating them coming in. Oh, he played ball at first. He was out there and he was clapping and he was showing love. Yes, he did. I'm going to find that video too. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. I got to find it. I'm going to find it. I get it later. Don't worry. I'll find it. Shout out to you though. I appreciate you. LJ, shout out to LJ from BK says, I was just about to eat a boil. David Williams says, Mayor Adams' charges have just been announced. Yep. We're going to get there. That's going to be tomorrow's story. Deviled eggs is crazy. Jay Ben says, backdoor deviled eggs is nasty work. Salad tossed. Oh my God. Jasmine Swan says, a boiled egg. Y'all remember DMX's songs Where the Hood At? First verse after the intro, he was spot on. Wicked Nut says, Devil's Advocate is the movie with Keanu. Yep. Messy Mathematician says, I'm never eating another egg again. Better a boiled egg than a Coke can. Oh, God. Y'all, wow. The chat is crazy. Jeremy H says, boiled egg, you made me spit out my food at work. Mr. Lot says, I'm behind on the stream a bit. What did I listen to? Tyler Ahmad says, timestamps. I got you. Timestamps go on every show on the Millionaire Morning Show. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Ed Gate. Greatness to Work in the building says, it's not just an industry. I've seen more and more stuff in your everyday corporate America. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm looking forward to kicking it with y'all in person. Let's rock out. Stellantis, layoffs, port strikes. Let me bring y'all up to date on what's happening out in these streets, man.
A deal is made to avoid a strike between UAW workers and Ford.
She cute. Shout out to the Michigan girls. Ooh, y'all know how I feel about these pretty newscasters. Keep these newscasters away from me so I don't get caught up.
Rouge Tool and Die plan. According to the union, the deal strengthens job security by protecting against the impacts of advancements in 3D printing.
The roughly 500 members of Local 600 will review the tentative agreement before scheduling a ratification vote. If ratified, the UAW says that this deal will set a new standard for skilled trades workers at Ford. So far, Ford has not commented on the deal.
For more on that deal and more layoffs now coming from Stellantis, we want to dive into what's happening with the auto industry with expert and Wayne State University professor Dr. Merrick Masters. Merrick, great to see you. Overall, do you get a sense right now that things are suddenly unstable again between the UAW and the auto industry?
Well, you certainly do, but it's important to remember that this is a local agreement that started negotiations last year coterminously with the national agreement, and it was one of the few that the union at the local level and the company had not resolved. So this happens occasionally. It used to happen much more frequently in the past, but these technological issues that they're dealing with are difficult to grapple with, and I would expect to see more of them in the future. But your broader point is certainly true. What's occurring in the industry in the United States and globally has put the parties in a state of flux, and there's a lot of uncertainty about what the footprint of the big three will be in the United States going into the future.
Well, you have a PhD in labor and industrial relations, and no doubt technology has made your job very unique and different these days. Things seem to be moving very, very rapidly. How is this changing the landscape in the auto industry? And does the striking from last year and all of the agreements that were made, is that having an impact on what's happening now?
Oh, very much so. I think, Jim Farley recently visited China, was very impressed with the technology and the platforms that they're using. Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, has said that they're partnering with a Chinese company to adapt their technology and manufacturing processes and would like to import some of them to the United States. All of these changes will have implications, I think, for jobs and wages. So it's an uncertain future. What the companies are under pressure to do is lower the cost of EVs and compete with the Chinese, who are looming on the horizon with affordable EVs that the current mix of products that the company have do not offer customers.
Hey, I'm glad you dove into the relationship with Stellantis and the UAW there, because there have been some whispers for a while now that Stellantis could make a move here, but the UAW, some accusations with that, but then Stellantis saying, no, we are sticking to the original agreement, and then all of a sudden you do a 180 and we see 200 workers at Sterling Heights laid off. What kind of message is that sending?
Well, I think Stellantis has been very clear in the past couple of months that it is evaluating carefully its operations in North America and the United States, and it will be considering changes, including those of its product mix and having to slow down or shut down facilities that produce products that they don't believe are any longer necessary or profitable. And I think that there's a dispute between the union and the company over whether Stellantis has lived up to its commitments, including the reopening of the Belvedere plant in Illinois. And this has led to several grievances that the union has filed. The union claims it has the right to strike over these alleged failures to live up to commitments. The company says that it does not. The language is a little bit unclear. Several grievances have been filed. They're working their way through the system, and it remains to be seen what.
Let me tell y'all what's happening right now. Now that you have some insight, we've seen they come to a tentative agreement over at Local 600 Tool and Die. Shout out to everybody over there. I used to be cool with some of the people over there because I worked at Local 600, which also includes the steel industry down there, and it also includes the stamping plant and all of that, right? So I'm going to break it down for you, and I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying, and we're going to go from there, all right? The government, because this all ties back to, but it doesn't disclude companies and their inability to compete, okay? So this is what's happening, and this is why this election affects everything, okay? The government mandates electric vehicles. Because when Trump goes on and he says, well, listen, we okay with EVs, but we don't think that we should be forced into it. It should be a natural transition based off of consumer tastes. You can incentivize it, but they shouldn't be forced to do it, because what it's going to do is drive the American auto industry out of business. And so what they did was, as a part of all of this legislation and the Green New Deal and the infrastructure deal, the Biden administration mandated, through government regulation and also working together with different countries all across the globe, to eliminate gas-powered vehicles. And so they're telling them that you have to go to this standard by this amount of time, go to this standard. And also, let's talk about California, because as California goes, so goes the rest of the country. And so when you have these large states like California and New York, and then they pass legislation which then gets filtered into other states. For example, over in Chicago, they're adopting some of the same legislation that happened over in California with regard to homelessness, jobs, minimum wage, all of that. So they're looking to Gavin Newsom, who I believe is the worst governor in the United States of America, to then pass legislation, and the legislators over there, that then governs California and imposes certain safety standards and strict standards that then is filtered into other states. Well, let's relate it back to the auto industry, okay? For the auto industry, for almost all automotive makers, they don't believe that it makes sense for them to develop individual standards and vehicles depending on what mandates is illustrated in what state. So if California, for example, says, well, we have to go emissions-free in EV by 2030, automakers are not going to only sell cars in other states, especially when other states are starting to adopt the same mandates. And then it also happens at a federal level. And so when you see Kamala Harris go over there and they say no fracking or Green New Deal and all of this stuff, it starts to affect American jobs. So now it starts to filter down into your life. Why? Because you don't have a choice. And if you look at some of the new vehicles that's coming out, even the Charger, the Challengers and stuff like that, you're going to either have a V6 powertrain or you're going to have an electric vehicle. You can either go with the electric option and the vehicle powertrain. So they're leveraging ICE vehicles. Follow me here. An ICE vehicle is an internal combustion engine. It's the car that you drive every day. They got the V8, the V6, and it ain't no hybrid. ICE vehicles, they're taking the profits from those and they're doing research and development. They're doing research and development. They're using that profit to then fund the research and development to ultimately move over to electric vehicles. Here's what the problem is. The consumers are not as gung-ho about electric vehicles as the government and the legislators and the people over there in California, all of that. So then when they drop a vehicle and they say, okay, listen, we going completely electric on this vehicle, the people revolt against it, and now you have your dilemma because you're funding something that's not sustainable from a corporate perspective or from the company's perspective. So now they have to jack up the prices. The companies spend a fortune to comply. This is why, see, when y'all say it don't matter who you vote for, it matters. It matters on a local level. It matters on a federal level. Everything is going to affect you in your individual life. So now the manufacturers are forced to comply. They jack up the price of the vehicles. And so when you sit there and they just give you this surface level explanation, well, imports is going to cost us more money. No, it's the government mandates that's forcing corporate America and these vehicle automakers, but it also affects every single industry to comply, that is driving up the prices because they have to fund the research and development and also the transition over into new technology such as electric vehicles. So they raise up the prices on there in order to make sure that they fund this for something that you don't even want. And then what happens? What happens as this man sits there on my screen? What happens? The government then have to subsidize the cost. They have to give you incentives to buy. Well, we'll give you a $7,500 tax credit. We'll give you a $25,000 payment in order to buy a new house. We'll do this. Well, if houses wasn't as expensive because of the mandates that you're using to drive up the prices that's affecting what we're doing from an inflation perspective, then we wouldn't have to use incentives to do it. The industry would just naturally transition into it because that's what capitalism is. You don't need incentives if somebody actually wants it. If I sell you something, I could sell you something. I don't need an incentive to do it. You just want it because you know it's the best product for you and you like the person that's selling it to you. That's the first rule of sales. So now they have to subsidize the cost for something that nobody wants. Are you following me? They subsidizing the cost for things that nobody wants. What happens next? Then the vehicles become too expensive. The cost of living goes up. Government creates inflation. Workers are now demanding higher wages because they can't afford the vehicles, or they can't afford to live, or they can't afford the houses. They can't afford food. They can't afford anything. When Kamala Harris goes in and says, I want to regulate the food industry, and I want to regulate what's going on in grocery stores, all they telling you is that they're about to get invested in something that they don't even know what they're doing. And they're going to create a greater cost because they're mandating something that's not going to translate into you having a better cost of living or a better, higher wages. And then you're not going to have the same spending power. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You could say you make $100,000 a year. I told y'all 2-3 years ago, hey, $100,000 ain't going to be nothing. You're going to make it. You're going to get taxed. You're going to get killed. They're going to take more of your money, and you're not going to have more spending power, and you still ain't going to be able to feed your family. You lose purchasing power. It's all going to come back to your legislators. So now Chrysler is in a catch-22 because they're not Toyota, they're not General Motors, and they're not even Ford. They can't even afford to compete, and it's not even an American company anymore. And the thing that was driving the profits is not going to be profitable anymore because first you got Sean Fain that's not working with the business leaders. Instead, he decided to become a political captain. And so he sold them out because instead of advocating for our legislators to do things differently, he advocated for only higher wages and blamed it on billionaires. Well, guess what? Now BYD is coming. They building plants in Mexico, and they still going to lay off all of your workers. And I said that it was going to happen. I said, listen, they ratifying this agreement, but these automakers are not happy. They're not happy. They're not happy. Not only can people not afford to buy the vehicles, it's also going to affect the credit industry. We're going to outsource American jobs. If Kamala Harris gets into office, you're now going to be inundated with Chinese vehicles, and we're going to become an industry that's interdependent on finance companies because we're going to be too big to fail, and we can't continue to push forth the manufacturing environment and create American jobs because we sold off all of our manufacturing to foreign automakers. That was being subsidized by the federal government. They subsidized by China, and BYD is coming in here. It's a reason why Warren Buffett, listen, some of the biggest hedge funds in the world, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway is invested in Build Your Dreams, BYD vehicles. It's a Chinese automaker. They're not invested in Toyota. They're not invested in General Motors. They're not invested in Ford Motor Company. They're not invested in Tesla. They're invested in BYD because they're capitalists. They only care about the bottom line, not about the workers. BYD is a Chinese automaker that is subsidized by the Chinese government. They're banking on, why do you think that billionaires then say, well, you know what? They saying that they're going to tax us, but we just want a better America. No, because they're going to make more money from their investments. And they banking on the fact that all of these factories is being built over there in Mexico. So they're going to source in the vehicles through Mexico, sell them to the American people. The American people are going to say, oh, we got lower wages. No, you lost your jobs. So now places like Springfield, Ohio, and Aurora, and all of these small towns are losing their manufacturing base, and you're not going to have no jobs. They bring in migrants to do it at a lower price, while at the same time building plants and shipping them up here cheaper. And then American automakers are going to lose because they can't compete from government mandates that then allows for foreign companies to compete against them and drive them out of business, while at the same time giving you a temporary boost in your wages. And you're going to completely annihilate the union because you're going to have less workers and less jobs. It's exactly what's happening to the auto industry today. I can't believe that we sit here so ignorantly and we have all of these leaders and all of these people and they continue to bamboozle you and you don't want the information. And so what you do is you allow for them to sell you on hopes and dreams and joy and divisiveness. And oh my God, we love each other, but you're going to legislate yourself out of a job. You're legislating yourself out of an opportunity. You're legislating yourself into the unemployment line. You're legislating yourself into repossession. Your vote matters, but your informed vote matters more. And then you know what they're going to do right after that? Let me tell you the ultimate play. Cool. Now they lost their homes. Now they lost their jobs. Now everything is gone, and we're going to go and buy it up for cheap, gentrify it, and then sell it to you at a premium. We're going to come in, buy it for cheap, and we're going to say, the housing crisis was manufactured in 2008. People got filthy rich because you lost your home and you voted for it. You voted to lose your home. You just didn't know what you was voting for because they told you to register to vote and we only vote Democrat instead of telling you to inform yourself so you can make an informed decision on who it is that you're voting for and get better understanding. Now you don't have no excuse because I'm telling you what the play is. It's the reason. Listen, the same thing that enables me to be able to teach you about stocks and Stock Club and the 8 things that we look for when we look to invest in a company on a Patreon is the same thing that we leverage as far as making an informed decision on what's going to go on with the industry. You think Warren Buffett cares about who becomes president of the United States of America because he wants hope and dreams and love and device. No, he cares because it's going to increase the balance sheet for his stockholders because he's invested in the companies that's going to capitalize off of your ignorance. You think all of those people that was in those suites at the Democratic National Convention care about love and hope and joy? No. They know in order to market to you to vote against your best interest to ensure that they become richer, they got to sell you a message. It's the marketing. The campaign and the marketing and the talking points is what plays. When they call these billionaires to create these super PACs and these donors, these divine nine ignorant motherfuckers that's sitting out here strolling to the polls, you a fool. Think she care about you? Your network, the AKAs, the Alphas, the Omega. You think she care about you? You a puppet. You a sucker. You being used. You being used. The reason why these people fear, they will never ever debate me. You can't debate me because you don't understand business. Roly-poly Martin, destroyed. Destroyed. All he got is talking points. All he got is a lack of understanding, and he's feeding into a narrative because he ain't nothing but a little sloppy puppet himself. Y'all being used. You joined a Greek organization to align with a woman that's going to legislate you out of a job. You a sucker. You're a fool. They flying these migrants over here right in front of your face, and you act like you don't see them. Also, you can be a part of the N Club. We got too much of a follower mentality. You following the wrong people. You ain't following a shepherd. You following the devil. You following the wolf instead of following the shepherd. The wolf said, hey, come over here so we can eat some of y'all. Oh, I want to be eaten. I want to be eaten. Go along, get a. I want to be a part of your crew. Is this one of them days? What am I on today? I don't know what I'm on today. Give me a second. Let me go. This might be one of them. This one of them streams. This one of them ones. It's one of them ones, y'all. I'm sorry. Sorry, y'all. This is one of them ones. It's one of them streams, y'all. It's one of them rare days that I just be like, skip it. No time limit, no control, no nothing. Let's get to it. You ain't gonna have no job, and it's all your fault. It's all your fault. The same information that we use to make a good decision politically is the same information that we use in Stock Club to get rich. Yep, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Same information. We just leveraging it differently. Now because we can see it through the lens of those that's incentivizing them to get you out of your job. So we're gonna capitalize off of it too. Ain't no point in being poor. Ain't no point in being poor and dumb. Rick Gowdy in the building. Rick E says, what's the name of the policy that's flying hundreds of thousands of immigrants into the U.S.? I'll tell you what it is. Give me a second. Cuban, Nicaraguan, Cuban, something Venezuelan. It's called the something parole. Parole immigrant. It's called CHNV. CHNV. That's what it's called, a CHNV. Look up CHNV. Let me look at Biden CHNV. I'll tell you what it is exactly. All right, I'm going to pull it up for you really quickly just so you can see it. It's called a humanitarian parole program for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. And that's short for CHNV. All right? That's what it's called. CHNV. And this is what it is. All right? I pulled it up the other day. This is what it is right here. All right? On January 5th, 2023, Biden administration announced its intent to provide safe and orderly pathways to the United States for up to 30,000 nationals of Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. But they wound up modifying it, and now they've used it in order to get millions of people here. Basically, the program is known as the Processes for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. Allows certain people from these 4 countries who have a sponsor in the U.S. who pass a background check to come to the U.S. for a period of 2 years to live, work lawfully, using a legal mechanism called the humanitarian parole. All right. This creation of the new parole program, however, was coupled with restricted access to asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border for migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Starting in January 2023, the government of Mexico agreed to allow the U.S. to expel up to 30,000 migrants from those countries to Mexico each month. Okay? Let's move down. Migrants are ineligible for the parole program if they cross without authorization into Panama, blah, 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 blah. All right, so let's go down to what humanitarian parole is. Immigration and the Nationality Act, the discretion of temporarily allowing certain non-U.S. citizens to enter and remain in the United States if they apply for admission but lack any legal basis for admission. Individuals who enter the United States under these conditions are granted parole. Humanitarian parole does not provide any permanent pathway to remain in the United States and can be revoked and not renewed should DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, decide that it is no longer warranted or if the beneficiary violates the conditions of the parole. The person in the United States on parole may apply for work authorization during the period of their authorized stay. Here's the key, and I read this the other day. All right? Here's the key. I read it the other day. DHS may grant parole to someone if there is an urgent humanitarian or significant public benefit reason for doing so. The INA does not define what constitutes an urgent humanitarian or significant public benefit reason, meaning that it is left up to the federal government to determine whether or not you should or shouldn't be here, regardless of whether you're legal or illegal. And this is the program that they're using to basically fly millions of people into these different cities. All right? There you go. Shout out to you. I'm giving you the information, and now what y'all do with it is up to y'all. Don't say you're not informed, though. DJ Ace Production says, Lego that ego. Deleek says, my dad told me this years ago when he was pursuing music in his youth and didn't take the bait and we're from Miami. Still here, I appreciate you. Shout out to Deleek. Yeah, Greatness to Work says a lot of them sororities and fraternities I know for a fact do the same things. Did he be in charge? Didn't Hugh Hefner also have that Playboy mansion? Jasmine Swan says EV equal extra $250 a year to state for the lost fuel revenue. Chad for Moore says keep going, AD. Y'all want more? Y'all want more? All right, well then I'll bless you with Mo. Let's get to it. In order to get Mo, though, y'all got to hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's talk about these illegals, about being prepared to be dumped or being prepared to be deported according to Trump, but I think that other people got other plans. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. First, let's go to Ohio with this immigration bill that's being levied.
Immigration policies have been a big campaign talking point this election season. And as you know, Ohio has been in the spotlight as Republican leaders like former President Donald Trump.
You know what? Let's hold off on this. Because we almost at the 2 hour and 30-minute mark, and we going to hold off on this. We're going to share this tomorrow. Tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about it. All right? Let's talk about it tomorrow. I'm following my leading. Give me a second. I'm just following my leading. I know that it's easy for us to just jump into these conversations and continue to rock, but I got to follow my leading. Make sure y'all tap into After Hours tonight, and we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Within me. Nah, that's enough for the day. It's enough for the day. You gotta follow you gotta follow the word. When you hear it, you gotta comply with it. You gotta roll with it. All right? We're gonna do it tomorrow. We're gonna keep going tomorrow. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all to everybody that continues to pour into the platform and rock out with us. Says I'm old enough to remember people voting yes for Dems to create sanctuary cities while getting rid of cops because they were mad about George Floyd. Make sure y'all tune in to After Hours tonight. We're going to continue the conversation. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's get to it. Hey, stay informed. Stay focused. Make sure you send this to your friends and family. Come kick it with me. Tap into the show. Link is in the description. Hit the discount code Anton to make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.